What's good, troopers? This is General DB, and in today's video we're actually going to be breaking down some of the misinformation that's out there on the new Unity update, as well as discussing the characters that have just become farmable and any potential legendary event that might follow with them. So let's get on with this video, guys. Let's do this. This video is being brought to you by Pimpo, your one-stop SWGoH mod service by the mod father himself. If you're one of the many players who doesn't understand mods or doesn't have the time or interest to sort them out, Pimpo can do it for you. He offers a full inventory cleanup, will level them and sort out your farming goals going forward. He'll also sort out loadouts for whatever game modes you want and gives you a big boost in your Grand Arena and Territory War performances. Okay, so the big bit of news that's going on right now is the Unity update, and let's face it, we don't really get a lot of news in this community, so when we do get some, we get a little bit excited. However, there seems to be a lot of misinformation going around about the Unity update. I've seen many Reddit posts, many videos on it and stuff, but I've actually got a bit of background in all of this. I've done some game coding in my early 20s with C#, and I've dabbled in Unity and such, so I'm no expert on the subject, but I've got a little bit more insight for you compared to most of the others. And yeah, really one of the big bits of misinformation for me going around there is that CG was moving to Unity. The fact is they were already on Unity, they were just on an earlier version of it, so it's not a complete switch at all. They've been using it the whole time. Any of the whatchamacallums, the data mines will show you the version and and what game engine and then compiler and all sorts that were being used in the code, and they were already on Unity. So it's not a complete swap, it's just an update to a complete new build of Unity, which does bring some nice new features, mainly for the developers more so than our end, but still it should give CG a lot more time and streamline the process of actually developing the game. There's a lot more modularity and stuff involved in the new system. So what we're going to see more so, because this is another area I see a lot of the misinformation. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to improve the graphics, it's going to change this and that and that. It's not going to do anything. Okay, it's not going to do any of those things. What it will do is allow the devs more room to do those things, because it's going to better optimize the hardware that we are using to play the game. As we know, particularly for me, I use an older phone. I'm using the Samsung Galaxy S7. That's quite a dated phone at this stage. And when I was playing, for example, Fleet, the battles could be quite choppy. It would drop frames, there would be lots of clipping, screen tearing and things like that as I was transitioning through other menus, getting access into other battles, particularly if I would swap account as well. If I would sign out of Google Play to sign into my alt account, a lot of times the game would just completely lock up or freeze, or if it did get into the game, the frame rate was absolutely horrific, like it was trying to run both versions of the game at the same time. And yeah, so I would see problems like that, which this should in theory fix. It should sort that kind of thing. And in fact, I have noticed an improvement playing on my S7, particularly, again, as I was saying, in Fleet, which seems to be one of the more intensive modes. Maybe it was just less optimized when they developed it. Maybe it was just, plugged together through multiple lines of random code, different developers, and nothing was really streamlined, so it could be that. But I have noticed a difference in that, and I've noticed some other people in my patrons and my YouTube members, generally in the 125th Legion, that have mentioned to me that on their older devices the game is now running a little smoother. However, it's not going to just drastically be a better game. As I said, it's going to allow them to essentially do some of these improvements now, because it's streamlined the development process and allowed more people to work on the same project and plug it all together through the modularity and such. It's going to allow them to potentially, and this is potentially, it's not just going to change this overnight, it's going to potentially allow them to increase frame rates or add some better lighting effects without really demanding us to upgrade our phones. It should allow them to bring those improvements to all generations of phones without cutting out the older models. We've seen it in the past where they've removed support for older devices because the new features coming in were just too strong. This should help relieve that kind of pressure on the devs, because you know that's going to cost them some players. Some players are going to be, well, I don't want to upgrade my phone yet, or I can't upgrade my phone for another 6 months on my contract. So hopefully this will help out with that. But overnight, it's not going to change anything. We're not going to see anything other than maybe a slightly better optimization of our current hardware. But yeah, in theory, with the better process and the additional kind of relief on hardware pressures, they should be able to bring in smoother animations. They should be able to bring in slightly better graphics on the characters, you know, just give them more polygons or whatever you were planning to do, better shading, better lighting effects and things like that, without having to completely rebuild the entire engine, because there's going to be limitations. It's not suddenly just going to have the same animations as Marvel Strike Force. It's not going to be like that. That would pretty much require a complete rebuild of the game. And yeah, that's not going to happen. Let's face it, the game's making so much money right now. They're not just going to cut the game completely and rebuild it from scratch and hope everybody replays the game to get back to the same point. So yeah, there are a lot of improvements that could come from this, but it will require them to rebuild those animations or reskin those characters and sprites entirely. Nothing is going to change right now for us. There's just lots of potential, which is always the thing that we've had with Capital Games. There's lots of potential to do things, but will they make use of that potential is essentially what it boils down to. I'm hoping they will. They've raised the bar and expectations on this. For a long time, they have said, we can't do this, we can't do that, or so-and-so is being held up because we've got to do this first. And now they've announced that this is done. So they've put pressure on themselves now to deliver, in my opinion. We haven't had these new raids and this new content because of this happening, because they've had to recompile the code. There's going to be all sorts of errors and stuff once they compile the code under the new engine update and such. So now that's done, this is where things have to come, and perhaps the fact that they've just released Cara Dune, Greef Karga, and The Mandalorian means we're finally going to get the Child Legendary event, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that is coming. How they're going to do it, I don't really know. In all honesty, because let's face it, they've got sponsors, they've got bosses. They're not just going to release a child character that you can kill. That's gonna likely be something they can't have. So I suspect it'll be a character sort of like C-3PO, and you've got to take out the rest of his team to actually get rid of him. Some sort of healer. Perhaps he assists when Mando does things. Perhaps he can stun the enemy when Mando is hurt and stuff like that, which would be a really nice addition. I mean, let's face it, everybody loves Baby Yoda. Everybody wanted him in the game. He's got to be a really easy character to monetize, I would suspect. And in a business model like this, that's what you got to do. You've got to be making those big sums. This game makes great amounts of money, and I really think that's a character that should kind of be one of those that pushes us forward with the new update, and there should be nothing that's really holding them up to do this now. If he's going to come fairly soon, because let's face it, they're going to want us to panic farm. That's where the money's going to come from. So where are we at the minute? We're mid-July, so if they're going to drop him, it's probably going to be sometime in August. And I mean, that's the classic thing, right? August trademark, August TM, and that's long been the running joke, and it's actually quite traditional. Some big material arrives in the game, and some big content tends to arrive in August. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna call it here. I think we might end up with that. But I mean, we don't have a fifth member yet, so I don't really know what they're gonna do about that. Maybe it's a completely different type of event. Maybe they'll add characters that have nothing to do with it, when we've seen that before. But yeah, I suspect that, and I mean, I've already showcased Cara Dune's use. Great character. We know Greef and Mando are fantastic with other factions and other teams already, so these are great characters worth building up anyway. I'm going to be building them. I'm farming them now because my Kylo farm is all but done. It's just Kairos now, and I'll pick them up as I go along. Yeah, so that is the gist of the update. That's the breakdown and the reality of the Unity update, and my prediction for the child. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, share this around with your guilds and stuff. Trying to get my channel back to life, because let's face it, I moved house and it kind of just went like that. And then I came back and it was all over the place because I was doing multiple games. Now I've taken all my streams to Twitch, so make sure you join me there, twitch.tv/DBOFFICIAL125. And now I'm kind of reviving my YouTube again. It's primarily my video content channel for you guys. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the future of the game. We're seeing positive steps again, finally. It's still a long way to go. Then I don't think CG are really forgiven by many of us. I'm hoping we're going to get that progress. I'm always the positive guy. I've never made CG has killed the game, SWGoH is dead videos. That's not what I'm about. I don't care about getting views through toxic content. I'm hoping this is a step in the right path, and this should give them a lot of leeway going forward, adding new content, and that's what we badly need. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Till next time, we out of here.